Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. Outgunned. And he walks away clean. With my money. Now what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.
What is up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. We are live for yet another episode of Ripping the Silverback. It has been a few weeks, as you guys know, kind of had a little surgery, recovering from that as well. So things are starting to line up. We got our little setup downstairs, which allows us to stream yet again. So here we are. We have officially returned back to our regular scheduled programming. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Silverback himself. What's going on, man?
Yo, good to be back. Hope you're recovering well, not overdoing it.
Nah.
Don't make me go all fucking big daddy on you, you know?
Yeah. Plus the lady, she
Taking
won't
your
let me
medication,
anyway, so.
doing your stretches, your exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing my PT, staying on top of it. Staying on top of it. Yeah, it's still going to be a long process with that, as I've talked about publicly. I mean, as active as I was to get back to like running and kickboxing and stuff, that's going to be 4 to 6 months before I'm even considering that. So this is going to be a little process. Going to take some time, but it's going to be worth it for sure. Be out of pain, or we'll be pain free. That's the goal, and we'll be back in form. Of course, you guys just watched that animation. So before we get to going into some of the topics of the day, I do want to talk about that real quick, if you don't mind. Let me get out of there, because I mean, this collection, as we've spoke about already, we're over 8,700. These numbers aren't updated. I'm gonna share this tab here. These numbers aren't updated, but we're over 8,700. So we're closing in on the next big milestone, which is 9,000 books sold, which is kind of crazy with how many days left. 46 days still left in this collection. This is massive, guys. Chuck and I, we did have that stream on Monday, and we discussed that short stream, and how, you have an idea that things are going to be successful, but you never know to what degree. But in all honesty, this absolutely destroyed all sorts of expectations that we had for this. So I appreciate everybody that has got in on that. We'll be releasing those print numbers soon enough, but I do appreciate everybody. And yeah, if you have not got in, you can go to Rippaverse.com. It's in the description as well. I'm sure one of the mods will get it, and we'll make sure we get that. Whoever the mod is that puts it up there, will get that pinned to the comment section, where you can get all the items in the collection. As you guys see, we have all sorts of stuff here. New shirts. Everybody's talking about how this is like the best shirts that we put out so far.
That right there. Yeah. That lid. That lid.
Yeah.
You see, I know the lingo now.
Yeah. I'll check you out.
Hanging out with the
yeah, I love it. It's
I didn't know what to say next, because it was gonna get weird.
Yeah. It's all good. But no, seriously, this has been unbelievable. Again, we did not expect this to do this good. It's going to be interesting to see where this lands, especially with the legs. As it's really carrying. We had a crazy
too
big
soon,
day.
Eric. Too soon about legs. Too soon.
Oh, too soon. Yeah, that is very true. Way too soon. Way too soon to be talking that type of stuff.
Very sensitive of you.
Yeah, you're right. But
I'm
it's going to be
offended.
interesting. You should be on my behalf, actually.
As a white person of
yeah.
color, I'm very offended.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. But yeah, almost 9,000. 9,000 will be the next big milestone, which is absolutely crazy. So those are the two collections that we have live. This, in addition to that, we also have the Ice on One signature series. Those actually, we got word not too long ago. Those are going to be shipping hella early. So we got some of these already getting to us. So if you want to get in on the Ice on One signature series collection, you can go ahead and get in on that as well. So just wanted to plug that. I appreciate all of y'all showing all the love, man. Again, I can't state that enough. All right. So I want to open up with talking about more or less the elephant that is in the room, because I mean, I think all of us got flashbacks when we saw some of what was getting said about Agatha all along on the red carpet premieres. In fact,
Purple carpet.
well,
please.
yeah, that's true. Purple, because themes and stuff. So yes, you're not wrong. The purple carpet, and you started to get acolyte vibes. You started to. I mean, it's almost amazing that a company can repeat the same exact mistakes over and over and over again. I have one more clip that I'm grabbing right now, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. But yeah, it is quite remarkable that these guys continue to screw this up. And it's like, as we've talked about, hey, is there going to be a correction with regards to the market? Now, there's two ways to look at it. I personally don't think there's going to be any sort of correction by the mainstream. I just don't think that they have it in them. But on the other hand, even if they did correct, even if there was some sort of market correction, you're so far removed from whatever that's going to look like in the industry, because all this stuff takes years to develop. Okay. So you can look at this either of those ways. You can say, well, this was already coming down the pipeline, so of course it was going to still be with the whole approach. Or you can just say, which is what I feel, it's like, dude, it's the same stuff, and they're going to continue to say the same stuff. So pulling this up, we got first, sharing my screen here, we have Sashir Zamata, who are also, and again, this is a question I was asked continuously. Okay. And this is what they had to say. Let's listen in.
It's been described to me that Agatha is the gayest project Marvel has ever done.
I think this is the gayest journalist.
Yet.
Is that what you call him?
Yeah,
for sure. So he's got that going for him. But yeah.
Ever done. Agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Why is it?
You'll see. You'll see when you watch it. But, you know, I think witches are queer inherently just because we are outcast and like set aside for many reasons. And I think this show shows a really good representation of different types of people, and all use the power we have in it within to
perhaps the power of many.
Go forth and be great.
It's been described.
But okay, so
something great. Something.
It was
diverse.
It was very interesting, man, because I mean, when I say it's like repeating the same thing, it was like, you know, you had Amanda, whatever her name is, talking about, or was it? I can't remember if it was the other chick, Harvey Weinstein's former assistant. I didn't know if it was her. One of them were talking about how this nerds are queer. I think it might have been Amanda that said it.
They were both in that interview, and it was Amanda that said nerds are queer.
You're right.
And then somebody said something showing, well, in my world, nerds are queer.
Of course, in their world, of course, it would be.
Yeah.
But you know, you see what I'm saying? Like, as far as this is just yet again the same exact thing that we've already seen, or we just saw. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, that you tortured yourself through the Acolyte, and it was the same exact, like, I don't even like to generally use the term rhetoric, but it was the same exact thing that was being stated in that interview is being stated here. And it's like, well, Yeah, they're not on the other side of this, Ash. I think they're going to continue on with this. And I'm not even saying, because I know our friends at Film Threat had said that, up until those first couple of episodes going through Agatha, they hadn't seen any of the actual woke stuff. Doesn't mean that it wasn't going to be there, because it took a little bit for it to take that crazy turn. It took 3 episodes with the Acolyte when it just got crazy. I think it was the 3rd episode. Yeah, exactly. So it could be one of those things, but even so, they're still leading with it on the promotional trail and the marketing trail. So I don't think Disney's learned a damn thing.
No, I've always said that Disney will go down with this ship. There might be other companies that course correct, but Disney won't. Disney's going down with this ship because it's entrenched. It's entrenched all the way through their systems, their employment, their heads, their divisions. That's entrenched. Disney are going to fail, and they're going to fail miserably, and I don't care. As regards to the marketing around the Acolyte, it's the gayest Star Wars, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. It wasn't gay. The show wasn't gay. Did the show have a lot of gay actors? Yes, it had Leslie Headland's wife. It had Amanda Stenberg, but she changes what she is every 2 fucking years. It had Yord, or whatever it's called. He's a gay actor. So there was actual gay actors, but the show itself wasn't gay. There wasn't any gay relationships. That, in fact, the only relationships in the show were between men and women, or in the Jedi case, between Jedi and children, because they're Fredos. So this rhetoric around the Acolyte being the gayest Star Wars show ever is just nonsense to push. I don't know what they want to push. A lot of gay people working behind the scenes, probably because of Leslie Headland essentially hired her friends, who they all live in the same bubble, which Amanda Stenberg has admitted. So probably, but the show itself, no. So whether or not the same thing is going to be done with Agatha, I don't know. I don't care. I will watch it. I will give it a review based off what I see. I'll say if I like stuff. I'll say if I dislike stuff. But I tend to find that a lot of this grandstanding with, oh, this is the gayest thing, this is the something that, this is the ideological whatever, isn't actually the case at all. It's the most bizarre marketing that I ever see from these companies, because they don't represent what the show actually does. The Acolyte was just shit. That was the Acolyte. It wasn't gay. It was just shit. We'd go, yeah, it's fucking gay, just in gay as regards to it's just crap. Just using the slang gay, which doesn't even mean homosexual, just means shit, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just terrible show, terribly written, terribly acted, terribly directed, terribly produced. The sets were cheap and tacky. It was just a garbage show. So my kind of take, it's not exactly the most original take. A lot of people have this take because, to me, I think it's obvious, and that's why it's an obvious take, is that they come out with these marketing ploys of it's the gayest this or it's the diversest that, because they're trying to literally create shields around the show to make it exempt from criticism. So when people see the show, realize that it's just crap. In the case of The Acolyte, if you want to criticize the show, which we all did because it was absolute hot garbage, from myself and the way that I sort of entertain my audience, through to somebody who will do it a bit more methodically, like, let's say, Star Wars Theory, okay? And you can just tear the show apart based off how bad it is. Then their argument then becomes, well, you're homophobe, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a sexist. And that's where they try and hit you with that. That's the gotcha. That's the shield which they've put up. Is this going to be gay? I mean, it's got gay characters in it. We know that because it's got one of the fake children, and even canonically in Marvel, they're gay. Are they going to amp that up? Probably. Is there going to be lesbian witches? Probably.
Is Hulkling in it? So Hulkling is in it?
No. The Wonder Child, one of the Wonder Maximoff's fake children.
Yeah, that's Hulkling's the gay one. Wiccan. Wiccan's with Fucking okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Wiccan is and oh yeah. I mean, you could say with the Acolyte we had the gay witches, but again, that was just stupid, retarded shit. So yeah, I just think again, it's a this is a show nobody wants. This is a show nobody asked for. There is 1,000 characters in front of the queue in terms of who should get a TV show before you even get anywhere close to Agatha. So I think Variety is doing what Variety does, which is let's create the narrative that this is the gayest show. Because they're actors, of course they're going to agree with that. Because they're all from the same side of the bubble, they're all going to agree with that. And then when people watch the show, and if it's just dull and boring, and people say this is dull and boring, then they'll come out with their hit pieces. Oh my God. I mean, we've already seen Paul Tassi. Paul Tassi's already running interference. He's already running interference. He looks like he's melting down. The guy looks like he's having emotional, mental problems, but that's what I guess you get when you Paul Tassi. If I can find the here we go. Yeah, if I can share this with you.
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
It's actually right here. Yeah.
Okay. So Paul Tassi says
I have it. It's actually part of
is it part of what you've got there?
It's actually part of this here.
Yeah, there you go. Let's just unleash Aubrey Plaza to solo the inevitable horde of anti-woke YouTubers. I mean, he doesn't realize how much I would like that. They're about to show up. So Tassi's already running defense for this show, and it hasn't even come out yet. In essence, he's trying to exempt it from criticism, which as a journalist, a critical journalist that is meant to do a review of this, not very critical there. Not very unbiased. Because maybe he's seen the first few episodes and he realizes how fucking terrible it is. I saw that Alan Ung said that the show's just terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. Like he had just said that at least up until through the episodes that he had saw is like it wasn't necessarily quote unquote woke, but he didn't have he wasn't singing the highest of praises.
No,
for it.
But that's what we tend to find a lot of these things are. The Acolyte wasn't just boring; it was terribly written, terribly acted, etc. But it was boring. Why? Because the plot made no sense. There wasn't a story. There wasn't an actual plot. It was nonsensical rubbish, and it was all leading up to this second flashback, which was meant to explain everything, and essentially just went, "Oh no, everything just went down the way that went down." But she got killed, and we're like, well, "Of course we know she got fucking killed." That was the fucking most obvious thing, and we knew that one of the Jedi was going to kill her. I mean, that's just This isn't a mystery. So they set it up as this mystery that wasn't a mystery because they explained everything pretty much in the first 3 episodes, which nobody cared about anyway. So you got shows where you don't invest in the characters because they're not compelling. You've got lines which make no sense, go nowhere, are dull, dialogue which is meandering and meaningless, sets which just look terrible. And it's $180 million. You're wondering where on earth this money's going. And then you go, okay, this is garbage. Variety, Paul Tassi, whoever. Bigoted YouTubers have homophobic meltdown.
Yeah, well, as he's saying that he's disowning everybody because he's a straight man. And
no, he can't. Paul Tassi's not a straight man. No, he's not. No, I'm not being silly. No, honestly, Eric, I'm not even being silly. You can't be a straight man and have that corporate cock so far up your ass. It's impossible. You can't call yourself a straight man and literally be bending over so Daddy Disney can fuck you up the wrong one. Right? So, no, as a straight man, I'm disavowing you more. Nobody cares, Paul. You're a broken individual.
Yeah.
Absolutely broken. It's insane to the degree which you're now displaying it. Yeah, you'll get some likes, just like most things. All of our audiences are skewing towards us. My audience will most likely be heavily defensive of me versus somebody that has a contrary opinion to me.
Yep.
Same with yourself. Same with all the other channels. Same with Let's bring Ackman in because he, when we're having our ding dong, let's stuff like that. Same with Paul Tassi. Yes, you'll get most likely the confirmation bias because that's the kind of bubbles that we live in because algorithms simply split us all apart.
Yeah. It's a design for sure.
But
yeah,
you're meant to be a journo. You're meant to be an objective journalist giving an objective opinion about the show.
He's far from that. But I mean, on a serious note, look, I can understand, and I think this is the point that I want to make about all of this because I know the first thing that certain people are going to say. Same thing that certain people said about the Acolyte, and it's, well, this isn't written or this show was not created with people like myself.
Don't say
in
that.
mind. That's what they're going to say. But here's the thing: they're not going to show up. The people that it's supposedly for. So let's assume that it's for gay, for homosexual women that are into like witchcraft shit. Now, I'm sure in fantasy, I don't know, in novels and stuff, maybe there's an audience for that. I have no idea. I haven't looked at the numbers on it. That said,
so 16 people.
Okay, maybe those 16 people exist. It's not going to be enough to move the needle. I don't know what the budget is on this. Hopefully, it's not anything near what the fuck Acolyte was. There's no way they could have spent that much. But either way, it's not going to make
the budget is not reported. Which
probably means that it's a decent amount. But either way, whether it be for me, I can accept that. I can embrace that because I understand that not every single piece of media is meant for a person like me. I understand it. That said, this is based on a comic book character, and though I do believe that there were tasteful ways to handle Agatha, when I was still covering this, I despised this depiction of Agatha. It's not Agatha at all. You had a Fantastic Four properties. I have no idea. Maybe they will with this. I think I talked about this earlier, that at some point maybe they will kind of use this as a vehicle. Does Agatha become the nanny of Fantastic Four's the two youngsters? I have no idea. Either way, that ain't Agatha. Whoever the hell this is not Agatha. It's young version of Agatha. It's not. It's just Agatha in name. But okay, let's say that it's you're trying to, with the Marvel brand, embrace that type of obviously trending towards women, and you're trying to bring those types in. Well, you're going to be unsuccessful at it. So, damn my opinion on, looking at it through the lens of Eric July, this male comic book guy. Okay, put that aside. I can bet you the house, okay, that those that you're supposedly trying to target won't show up either, just like they didn't show up with Acolyte. And what will end up happening is once this concludes and it doesn't get renewed for a second season, maybe you'll get some fucking thing that'll go out there, people asking for sign-ups and all that, but it won't amount to anything because you're not going to pay for Disney Plus to go see it. And the audience, I just think that you're trying to appeal to, just won't show up. So either way, it's not for me. Then who the fuck is it for? I guess it's the golden question, because I don't know if those 16 people. All right, let's assume that it's larger than 16 people. Have it's 17. Okay, whatever it is. I'm betting money that they're not showing up. And I feel good about the bet. I'm not going to get felted with that bet. I feel really good about it.
That's the really good question there is, who's this for? Okay. We're perfectly honest, fine to answer an honest question. Is it made for us? No. It's clearly not made for us.
That's obvious.
Okay. Yeah. Gay twink, boy in it. No, thank you. Straight white man, not my bag. Middle-aged witches who are trying to, according to the woman, be nice, great, powerful, whatever. No, so it's clearly not made for regular comic book readers, the majority of comic book readers, which is a bit of a bummer when your property that you're trying to put out there is
Marvel Comics. Yeah, it does probably doesn't make a whole lot.
You're just saying. So if we're trying to define exactly who this audience is, I would say that it is this is made for middle-aged women who are either married and bored or single with cats, that might be middle class and think that having a gay friend is an accessory as opposed to a human being. So essentially them, the people behind the idea of it all. So it's not even made for women per se. It's not as if is this made for 20-something women? No. Is this made for straight women who are, into action adventure, the romance, the hero that's going to sweep the woman off their feet? No, because it's going to have none of that. There's going to be effeminate, ineffectual males in this show, so it's not made for them. So again, we're back to the bored, middle-aged housewife or divorcee or spinster with cats that doesn't collect comics, so they're not going to watch this anyway. That doesn't subscribe to Disney Plus, so they're not going to watch this anyway because they're too busy knocking down boxed wine for a living. They think that's a career. And so the actual audience for this is fucking no one.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, I would imagine, themselves, the person who made the show, who devised the show. So they've once again created another show for themselves. And by themselves, literally the people behind the show. So we are dealing with a couple of dozen people, full stop.
So yeah, again, so even if you do, and look, this is a corporate entity, obviously a mega corporate entity in Disney. So sure, you're going to have your loss leaders, but I don't think that there's that Agatha can lead in terms of any losses. What I mean by that is, I don't think that making this show, even if you didn't get a return, is going to then get you. You think the price of or the demand, the demand for Agatha toys are going to go up? Like to really move the needle? Of course not. Like, so
Hasbro might release a line. It might already be made, that contract signed with Hasbro, and they're going to.
And I have a story that I want to talk about with Hasbro later as well. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be an attempt. But I'm just being dead serious. When you do ask the legitimate question of who it's for, you have to be honest with yourself. It's okay. Damn, if it's not for Rip and the Silverback, then it's for the middle-aged why-nots. Cool, but they're not going to show up, so it's an L for them either way. I don't think this is something that they're going to gravitate towards, just like they did gravitate towards. We've already seen it in action. It's even the same kind of theme when you talk about the witches and shit with Acolyte. Like, so you have wouldn't you compare like the audience that it's supposedly targeting? It's pretty similar, is it not?
Both these shows are designed for failure. They're designed for failure. They're not in any shape, way designed for success. There's no way these shows could be a success. You can say, well, the Acolyte had the Star Wars brand attached to it, so surely there's got to be some element of potential success because because they killed Star Wars. I mean, we say it on every video, but it's the truth. The brand of Star Wars is dead. It's a $4 billion bust. They killed it. The people, it doesn't have the pull
anymore.
Dude, it's the biggest cinematic franchise in the history of mankind is now a D-list television show on a subscribing service that gets less than a fucking million people watching an episode. It's dead. The toys are fucking dead. The merchandise is dead. So you're setting these people up for failure, and you're attaching whatever ideology that they have or whatever orientation they have to them, and therefore you're saying, "Oh, well, this show failed because of a bunch of bigots and homophobes."
That's the angle, though.
That's their angle, but the reality is you designed and set it up for failure because there's not an audience, because you killed the audience.
Yeah, well, there's not. Well, yeah, well, that's a different approach, and you're completely correct, because then you're looking at it from the just analytical perspective. Like, I mean, even if you look at just a general Disney perspective or Marvel and Star Wars, to be more precise, those do not have the same pool that they once had. They don't have the same pool that they once had. So things have changed. So the baked in audience is gone, right? So you don't have them.
No.
And that's what trips me out when look, I say this as a guy that owns a damn comic book business that is creating things of different genres, right? So people are going to appeal, or books are going to appeal to certain people. You have your kind of baseline diehards that are going to be into it. Why you would reject them, I have no idea. But I think that's what what differentiates this. It's not, well, I'm in the superhero comics or I'm in a detective based comics. I'm in a, okay, cool. But there is a general comic audience to just try to do something in comics or comic book based, and to not appeal to them is probably just a tad bit foolish, right? And then when it fails, and I guess that's what we see in the mainstream, the argument then is, well, you know, it's the bigots, they're winning, Disney's listening to, or Warner's listening to the bigots. And they're like, bro, that has nothing to do with it. My opinion wouldn't matter of this. Az's opinion wouldn't matter as far as like in the grand scheme of things, if y'all just showed up. So it doesn't matter if we disliked it or thought it was corny or thought it was foolish. If you showed up to the point to where it got a return, you hold the dub. The results are the results. Fuck what we got to say about it. The results are the results. So you're not going to get the results, though. You can't set it up for failure.
Yeah, we can't go round. We're not going round everybody's house on the fucking planet, knocking on their door and saying, you know, stop. Don't you dare
subscribe. Don't you dare do it. I'm not doing that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact is, people aren't watching. People aren't turning up. And is it because of bigoted YouTubers? No, because people can make decisions in the privacy of their own home. It's like that moron, Kim Belair from Sweet Baby Stink, who said, "Oh, I couldn't make even in a character customization screen in my own house. I couldn't make a character that looked like me because I thought that all these characters had to be white males." And you're like, you stop being, you know, just stop lying for a start. Just stop lying. But B, don't be a dumb fuck. That's the whole point of a customization screen, a character customization screen. So you can make what you want. You can make a power fantasy of yourself. You can make something complete and utterly different. You could make whatever you want. That is why they're there, to do that. So the whole rhetoric behind this stuff is bullshit anyway.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So the reason why people aren't turning up to these shows is because people aren't interested. Because you think if you try to sell this as, let's say, the gayest Star Wars show or the gayest Marvel show, you are in essence insulting every gay person, because you're saying every gay person has to turn up because gay. And you're all the same, and you all think the same way, and you must agree with our philosophy on that because it's made for you. No, there's gay people out there go, it's not for fucking me.
Yeah, it's not
that's just my sexual preference. That doesn't make who I am. That's not my identity. But we're dealing with companies and people that identity is their life.
Yeah.
You know, the superficial's their life. Oh, I am this melanin level. I identify as this pronoun, this sexuality, this orientation. But just superficialities. People just like, you know what, sir? I'm an individual, and I actually do like a little bit more. I like some depth. I like complexity. Just because I'm gay or straight or bi or whatever doesn't mean that I can't enjoy stories that don't fall into those categories. If the character's good, if the stories are good, I can just get invested. We all can. There's been plenty of films, TV shows that we've all watched throughout our lives that have got people from different walks of life, be it color, religion, ethnicity, gender, male or female, because there's only two, sexual orientation. We've all gravitated towards those and empathized because there's elements of the character which we can all relate to. Right. Regardless of where they come from. That's why fandom, that's why characters have survived for decades upon decades. Because everybody sees either thematically what they enjoy or elements of that character which they can relate to.
Right.
But these people, the Disneys and they're into their collective bubbles. Amanda Stenberg herself admitted, I live in a bubble. And I understand that living in a bubble means that I just see a certain perspective. And you're just like, okay, you're beginning to get it, Amanda, because I agree. Because algorithms, I'm agree with you with algorithms. You go online and you wonder why everything's so divisive. You know, you've got the algorithm doing the meme. The algorithms are like, because that's what they're set up to do, is just push people into more and more of the same shit that they're interested in. And there's no denying that. And then she goes on to say, but with that said, this is why you're all wrong type of business. You're just like, oh, you were so close to getting it. You were so close to understanding it. People are individuals. They're not collectives. And that means gay people, black people, white people, straight people, Muslims, Christians, Catholics, Buddhists. It doesn't matter. So what you have to do is, because there's so many different groups and so many eclectic people out there, you have to find themes. You have to find themes and characteristics that everybody can understand and yes, timeless classics are called that for a reason. And they're not looking for that. They're looking for the here and now, the current day, the stunning and brave, their current ideology, and that's all they're doing it for. So you end up with something like Agatha or the Acolyte, and they are made for fucking tens of people.
And then those tens of people didn't even show up.
Yeah.
So those tens of people were uninterested in what you were creating.
Where were all the gays?
Where are they? Where are they? They didn't show up, and that's the bottom line. That's the point that matters. So anybody that is out there, particularly with access media, who would dare try to run with that fake ass narrative of, well, it's our fault if Agatha doesn't do as well, or if the Acolyte doesn't do as well, or it wasn't made for you. Why are you talking? Okay, cool. That's what I'm saying. Is look, I'm a capitalist at the end of the day, right? So for me, results are results. I humble myself in that regard. Like, so it's like I can totally accept that. Hey, there's this thing that maybe I'm not that fond of, but other people are. That thing got a return. That thing is successful. My opinion on that does not supersede those that that project or that thing being successful.
Taylor Swift.
That's another one. Yeah, not a fan. That's not my thing. But I'd be a damn fool if I'm like, well, Taylor Swift isn't successful as a musician. I'd be a fucking retard to say that, right? So it's the same thing here. It's like, if you guys just showed up, nothing I say matters, nothing Ash says matter, nothing anybody says matters that is saying, okay, well, this is goofy or whatever. None of that matters. It's completely irrelevant if the results speak for themselves and Disney's plus subscribers are happened by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and people are just dying to see this and Acolyte and whatever is going to come after that. But they're not. So you can't blame us. Blame your fucking selves, man. And that's the beauty of individualism. That's the beauty of capitalism, because maybe that isn't for myself, but you can act with your own dollar. You can act voluntarily with your own dollar, with your own viewership, so your time. That's fine, and go get your dub. But that's always been the question that I pose back to those that have been angry with me when I've said something about like a Captain Marvel. And I always stuck to the subject with a Captain Marvel. That's when I get lumped in with these people. I went and looked at the data the other day. Believe it or not, I only did 2 videos on Brie Larson. That's it. I did 2 videos, and one wasn't even like necessarily about her. It was about what someone said that how I should be acting in regards to her. It wasn't about her as a person. So I was keeping it to the topic, but despite me having that, it's like, well, Captain Marvel is for these women. Girls need to be seeing themselves. The little girls are finally seeing themselves as heroes in this extravagant universe, because Captain Marvel is the first female everything ever.
First female ever.
Actually, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson was the first official female to ever exist in anything. But no, seriously, that's what they would say. And look, it made $1 billion. I know some people question those numbers because they look at some of the, their own experiences. Like, well, I was there day one and I didn't see my spot wasn't sold out. What the hell was going on? Either way, it made that money. But we saw what happened with the Marvels. And the Marvels, what was that? Totaling almost $500 million L for Disney.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of fucking money, by the way. It's a whole hell of a lot of money. You didn't show up. You didn't show up. You could have. You didn't show up. So maybe this is not our problem. Maybe it's their problem. And that bubble. Just one last note, because that bubble thing that you mentioned is such a great point. And yeah, I think just the way social media is kind of set up, and definitely if those that are perpetually online, their view is the only view.
Yeah.
Right. That exists. So they can't possibly envision a world where people not only don't think like them, but they may think completely to the opposite, and that's their actual view, like worldview, per se, about some of the major topics. But even it could be on something like comics or whatever that we're talking about. And when these types of people enter business, that's where it gets fucked, because these guys trick themselves into believing that their opinion is the opinion and the only opinion. And I think that's why they pile up these L's. I am of the opinion. Yes, I do think there's ideology involved, right? Ideology is tricky. It can trick you into believing a lot of things that are not only untrue, but that everybody else also holds that view. But I think it's also these fools believe this, and this is all that they see. So I do think that there is at least a substantial amount of people within the ranks of these creative entities that genuinely believe. I know it's hard to believe what us talking about, but they genuinely believe that, let's say, in the writer's room of a Agatha all along, though they did it all for themselves, or Acolyte, I do believe that there's people that are like walking away from that project like, we knocked it out the park. This is going to be a fucking hit. And it may sound stupid to us, because it's like, yeah, yeah, right. But you got to understand that these people are entrenched, bros. If you've actually held conversations with some of these cats, this is why they malfunction when they hear something that's opposite or antithetical to their belief system, because that's all they've been surrounded around for so long that they can't believe that people like that exist and actually hold those views. So I do believe that there's people that are part of these projects that are plumb fools, maybe working in marketing as well, because I don't for once believe that guy with Variety asked that question unprovoked. I don't believe it.
He
was screened. Mm-hmm. He was screened. That was something that they pushed. It's probably buried in an email that we'll never see, but he probably got it. Types of questions you should ask as you appear on the purple carpet. I heard that this was the gayest. Ask about that. So that tells me that y'all are in on it, or at minimum, the marketing team's in on it. And it's like, if we want the viewership, if we want the audience, we need to talk about how gay it is. Even though it might not be technically that, we think that audience is going to come around and buy into this. Even though we've seen it time after time, they don't show up.
I know that reporter I know is gay, right?
Okay.
So here's an interesting thing. He's there talking about this is the gayest, blah blah blah, and he confesses. I've seen the first episode. Well, you've had the first 4 episodes sent to you as a screener.
You know that.
So why have you only watched 1 episode? It's because you're not interested in the show. That's why. Because if you're actually interested in the show, you would have watched all 4 episodes. Now, is he up against the clock? No, he's not. He stands on a fucking red carpet and asks dumb fuck questions that pander towards the answers which they want to feed back into their magazine. This is not a hard fucking job. This guy isn't an investigative reporter that does any of that. No. So the likelihood is he's got access to at least 2, most likely 3 to 4 episodes, and he's only watched the first one. Because that's all he wanted to do, is just watch the first kind of thing, get an idea. Because his questions are already predetermined of what he was going to ask.
Absolutely. And they're in on it. I think that's important. Don't think that was just unprovoked. If it was, I don't believe it. Okay? I just tend to know how some of these things work, and generally speaking, definitely with something that massive, there's going to be your do's and your don'ts.
So that was made for him, in inverted commas, and he could be asked himself. So if somebody who this is made for kind of gives himself away on the red carpet, that you could have watched more, but you didn't watch more, that it was made for you, but you couldn't be bothered to go past the first episode because you already knew what questions you're going to ask, that were going to feed back into Variety so they could do the article we already knew they were going to make, then how on earth are you going to get other people to be interested?
Sure.
It's an almost impossibility. You talk about the 2 videos you made on Brie Larson, you got lumbered into that Brie Larson thing where they go, oh, well, look at Jeremy, he made 146.
72 fucking...
Well, whatever it was. And I'm sort of like, so what if he did? So what if he did? The very fact that you put somebody in a position for somebody to do whatever Jeremy did and continuously have content because of either what you were saying as an organization,
which was most of what it was, right? Like that was most of what it was. It was like, it wasn't just like, okay, because I did a video, the one for just to kind of echo the sentiment. The one video that I did was trying to give a level-headed kind of breakdown of why that whole phenomena existed. And you had, if I don't know if people remember, it wasn't that long ago, 4 years, it feels like fucking eternity, or whatever, when all of that 4, 5, 6 years ago, when she said, talking about the white men and all that stuff, and all that was coupled
Wrinkle
with
in Time.
Yeah, exactly. All that kind of accumulated here of with her thoughts and some of the positions that she were having publicly. And of course, everybody during that period of time were just cracked on fucking social justice, like leading with it, right? Every chance they got, they wanted to talk about it. So that was all part of the context. And that's, you had people doing obviously their videos on it. And it took some people a while to come around to it, you know what I mean? But people kind of came around to it. Okay, this is shit, right? Them focusing on this it wasn't the move there. I think a lot of folks tolerated it a little early on when it happened. Definitely, I don't know, some crazy happened in America in 2016, and all the actors and producers went fucking crazy. And they felt that they had to use their industry in order to try to make things right. And we saw it. We fucking saw it. It made for terrible. I mean, could you just imagine, just between the days of the years of like 2015 and 2018, a lot of actors, actors, musicians probably fell out of favor with a lot of you guys that are in the chat, just because it wasn't that they just wouldn't shut up. It was more of they were really hyper aggressive with telling people that they didn't want them as fans anymore. I think one of the probably most depressing one was like the Mark Hamills of the world.
Oh yeah, right? yeah.
Like because how beloved he could have. I mean, you could argue that one of the most beloved people just in general of all fucking time ever by anybody. Didn't matter what.
Used to love the guy.
Political views, but then he just went fucking nuts. And so she was part of that, and obviously that's giving kind of just context of kind of what was going down with that all, and how they kind of obviously when people would speak on it, they collectivized us all, thinking that we all were the fucking quartering, doing fucking 700 videos on her, when that really wasn't even the case. But I think we were talking about it a little off air with that one graphic that went around that didn't make a whole lot of sense. It goes to show that they're gonna lump you in that regardless. Like sure, you are a person that they need you to be. Even if those aren't your position, you dealt with it firsthand with the whole fucking Starfield shit. It's like, how many people were saying that you were saying things or that you didn't, or that this happened during an instance of the game when it didn't. It's just they need you to be this, so you're always, that's what they cannot form an argument that exists outside of that. So you're gonna be that regardless. It is on autopilot. So I'm not at all surprised with Paul Tassi saying something like that, where he's like, oh, horde of anti-woke, and as a straight man, I am disowning you morons, and all this other retarded shit. Like, he's on autopilot. He's on fucking autopilot. And I'm willing to bet that he can't specifically address the complaints that maybe some folks have of the approach. These aren't intellectual people that we're dealing with, is, I guess, a long way for me to say that. Yeah, I just linked the thing, if you want to share it, because it got deleted, because he deleted it. The hero that put this up deleted it. And as regards to, what exactly are we? Well, we're whatever they need to be, because we get told, as we've just mentioned in this, how many times have we been told this ain't made for you? This isn't made for you. This Disney show, this isn't made for you. The Acolyte's Where'd you put it, by the way? I don't see it in the studio.
Oh, to be shared. It's in.
Oh, to be shared. My bad. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. Perfect. So, these are the people Disney is literally, good English, catering towards to. I mean, I just read it verbatim. Don't have a go at me. They're leading the company to a much dangerous and unprecedented future. So 1 minute, this stuff isn't made for us. And now the next minute, we're leading fucking Disney.
We're controlling Disney.
we're
we're
ones
both irrelevant and in control, ass.
So which one is it? Is it not made for us, or are we fucking actually controlling the content?
Yeah.
They don't have a clue that there is the narrative is broken unless they get a fucking download to tell them what they need to be saying. They don't actually have an independent thought when it comes to this because they don't understand. That's why when we rag on something, whether it's fucking the Marvels or the Acolyte, whatever it is, it's just sport. It's sport because all the things that we love, they're fucking dead. Because they've killed it. El Corpo's come along and fucking killed it.
And I think that's the important part and why it's like, look, these morons, Anita Sarkeesians and the fucking, what's the chick, Frost fell off the face of the earth. What's the new chick, Mercante? This is why they're in over their head with all of this shit that because I think these people have fooled themselves into believing that they're a lot smarter than what they actually are. And what differentiates generally us speaking on the topic, definitely of like a Marvel or DC, especially with you and I, what differentiates us from just a hater per se is that we were actually into this shit. So we come from a perspective of a guy that, I don't know, has spent tens of thousands of dollars on this whole brand that you are somehow saying that because I don't know, had an issue with how they handled Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel was a problem. I'm not coming from the perspective of, hey, guy hate everything. I'm coming from the perspective of guy that has spent decades, quite literally decades, collecting, spending money on falling in love with this stuff, and now have watched these mega corporos run it into the motherfucking ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Run it into the motherfucking ground. So not only do I know my shit, it's something that I actually was invested in. And obviously, it's not like I'm going to burn my comics. You can argue definitely when I get back issues and stuff, still largely invested in this. But they can't separate that, right? And they deal with us as if we are just, I don't know, algorithm chasing in the sense that, well, I'm not actually into this shit, right? I don't actually have a opinion. My opinion is the opinion that the audience wants me to have.
This is all fake.
Yeah, this is all fake. That's all. It's not like all that money that you spent on that doesn't exist. Is essentially what they fail to realize, and that actually comes from a unique perspective, which is why I would always make the argument that if there is to be an audience, that Marvel and I know it's easy and cheap to say, well, fuck you guys, why you're the loud minority, you shouldn't exist. But my argument has always been, these are the types of people that have kept you afloat amongst all the hardships that you've had, the trading of hands, near bankruptcy in the late 90s. These are the folks that kept you afloat. If there is one demographic of people that you should be listening to, it's the people that were into it, bro. What the fuck? And I know it sounds retarded, like me saying it, because it's like anybody entering business would understand that, right? It's like it would be like me just saying actual Rippaverse fans, people that are actually into it, not people that maybe are disinterested in it. But I'm talking about people that are actually interested in the Rippaverse. It would be akin to me telling them to go fuck themselves. And that's fucking stupid. But that's the world we live in. That's the climate right now. The climate is, you as a fan are like almost in the way. You know too much.
Well, again, if you just link what if just share what I've popped into here. Right, this is a quick look at you mentioned Alyssa Mercante. This is a look at the traffic of Kotaku, which is already in the toilet, but as you can see over the course of the last 8 months or so, it's just down to the nothings now. Where even on the website's just fucking dead. It's just going nowhere. It's just gradually fucking dying a death. While the other devices, the mobile and other devices, probably tablets, etc., just dying. Right? Where do you think those people go? Where do you think the people who used to go to the IGNs and the Kotakus and the Polygons and the Screen Rants and all of these that used to do millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of views, where do you think they go when they leave your media pattern? Do you think they just vanish into the ether?
Right.
No, they're going to Jeremy, they're going to you, they're going to fucking Drinker, they're going to the people where they're going, oh, thank fuck.
That's
some common sense, because common sense is now fucking far from common.
Yeah.
It's rare sense nowadays. Because the common sense is, yes, you've got an inbuilt audience. If you're taking over a franchise, you've got an inbuilt audience that know what they like. Do you know what? You cater to that audience and you look where you can expand from there. Yeah. Right. Let's make sure.
But you expand by not slapping those guys in the face.
Yes, like we need
you can do that.
Yes, secure our audience. Secure them. Right. They like this, they like that. Okay. So where can we now branch off? Because we want to bring more people in, but we don't want to sacrifice
exactly
what we've got, the core, the people that keep us going. Yep. So how do we do that? Well, you know, we can maybe do a show about this. Let's see how this, and then you try it out. And if it's successful, then you go, okay, this opens the avenue. If it's not successful, you go, okay, we can still course correct because we have all this. So we try something. But one thing that you don't do is you don't try something, have it fail miserably, and then go, oh, you bunch of fucking racists. Are you fucking retarded? Or you don't do what Kathleen the fucking retard Kennedy did and said, well, you know, we don't want those 50-year-old Star Wars fans. We want to create a new generation of Star Wars fans. Okay. The second bit, we want to create a new generation of Star Wars fans. It's beautiful because do you know what? Things like Star Wars are generational franchises.
Yeah.
But you know what fucking George Lucas didn't do? Alienate the other ones. Because he understands that it's a generational franchise, it's the fathers and the mothers that are taking the children to the shows, the cinema, to the toy store, whatever it is, to get them involved in it. But if you go, oh yeah, we don't want you. This isn't made for you. Fuck off, bigot, homophobe. But the guy goes, oh, fuck this. I ain't taking my kids to this shit.
Nope.
And then you kill the generation. But then you go, oh, well, this is the gayest Star Wars now. And this is the gayest fucking Marvel show now. This is made for those people. So it's not made for me. And it's not actually made for Star Wars fans because you're not talking about Star Wars. You're talking about being gay. You're not talking about Marvel. You're talking about being gay. So you are saying this has got nothing to do with this franchise anymore. It's purely ideological. Now, some people might be gay, and they might just have a look at that and go, "Yeah, but I don't want. I just want to be entertained." Even I don't. Stop fucking dragging me into this. I don't need to be pandered to. I don't need to be fucking catered to. I just need to go and see something that I've enjoyed for fucking a long time.
Yeah.
So when you know it's going to be ideologically based because they're just there on the red carpet going, gayest ever, fucking the most feminine ever, this, that, and ever. And you go, okay, nobody needs to watch this unless you are fucking entrenched because anything to the fucking left of to the right of them is fucking Hitler.
Yeah, essentially.
That's the way that they fucking, they're fucking Chairman Mao. And it's just like anything, So you are saying this is not made for anybody anymore. This is not made for anybody. So that franchise, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, Star Trek, fucking Doctor Who, you've said to all your audience, all we're dealing in now is ideology. And people are just like, okay, good luck then. I'll go find something that's entertaining.
Deuces. Yeah, because it's not like those people just go away. It's not as far as their interest. No, they just go gravitate towards something else. And this is why definitely after starting the Rippaverse, it's something obviously I'm at least thankful for, even with the creatives that like the Chuck Dixons of the world, which again, DC basically said, even though you're like one of the most prolific artists or writers of all time, you said you wanted to go with the Vita Hollis of the world. Okay, great. I'll take Chuck. I'll take Joe Bennett. Thank you very much. I'll take Mike Barron. We'll build out the Rippaverse, but that's kind of the era that we are sort of living in. It's that these guys are cultural. I mean, you hear the term like sort of this cultural like vandalism essentially. But like I said, I think these folks are just so entrenched in their own ideology that they think their opinion is the opinion, even when, and this is the dangerous part from if you're looking at it business wise, even when you're faced with that objective failure, not just, it's one thing for someone to say you failed, but I'm talking bottom line. I'm talking you are spending money that you don't have, and you've laid egg after egg after egg after egg. And even with some of the properties, because how many times have we heard, okay, this was for women. Okay, cool. The initial demographic.
Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels, good example.
This wasn't for y'all. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why didn't y'all show up?
Yeah.
Why didn't you show up? Right? Or you get the other half, which is worse and even more hilarious. You'll see the makeup, the demographic, the initial demographic makeups, and then you'll see that more men saw it than the women.
The Marvels.
Was the Marvels is a classic example of it. So you didn't show up. That's what the ultimate thing is. You didn't show up. So
a modern audience doesn't exist. It never has existed. It's a fabrication. It's a term that's been made up by the corporation. This is made for a modern audience. Every corporation says it now, from video game companies through to TV, film companies. Doesn't exist.
No.
Doesn't exist. You had an audience, and you might as well turn modern to mythical. Or you might as well turn modern into whatever you're trying to manufactured audience. It doesn't exist, because if it existed, you would be successful. If it existed, and let's say the Acolyte was made, it's made for gay Gen Zers, right? And the Acolyte was the most watched show on Disney Plus. You'd be like, oh well, I guess it was then, huh? Hey, but no. Because where are your Gen Zs, which are always on social media? Oh my god, Gen Z is canceling like Eminem or whatever they're fucking doing, and they're not turning up.
Yeah,
probably because they're broke, got no fucking job. That they're not interested because their life actually just revolves around social media takes and being perceived to be on the right side of history. Which is probably one of the most ironic fucking sayings in the history of man. If you've got to say I'm on the right side of history, I got news for you. I got fucking news for you. Who are you trying to convince? Yourself?
Yeah.
Are you trying to convince yourself? There is no modern audience. There's an audience that you chased away. And a corporation will never understand a franchise like the people who created it, developed it, loved it. Corporation's never going to have that attachment to it. All the corporation is going to be like is
it's a line item, bro.
Franchise. Now, an intelligent corporation would be, let's make money. A dumb fuck corporation like Disney would be like, let's cram a bunch of far left ideology because we live in a fucking bubble, because we ran out the most important element of diversity that exists, diversity of thought.
True.
And so now we
only legitimate diversity, only
feel the same way.
Worthwhile.
We all finish each other's sentences. We have exactly the same opinions, and then you wonder why is it not doing it? Why is it not working? Everyone must be a bigot. No, you're just not making entertainment.
Yeah.
You're making ideology, and you're just preaching to yourselves about how virtuous you are. But by doing that, you're showing how bigoted and homophobic and racist that you actually are, and sexist that you actually are. You're excluding by using words like inclusion, and you're homogenizing and using words like diversity.
Yeah, it's not a rocket science. Unfortunately, they make it seem as if it is one, and this is why those L's continue to pile on. And just keeping things in the vein of what kind of we are discussing. You want to talk about a bubble. So when I first heard about this, as I'm not lying, I thought this was parody. I thought this was a fake, because look, there's a lot of fake shit going on out there, and this happened about a week ago.
Yeah.
I just read you the headline for you guys that may be just listening on audio. Maybe you're walking around doing productive stuff and just, I don't know, vacuuming the house. This coming from the Park Place. Ahead of Marvel's live-action Fantastic Four film, Marvel Comics depicts Johnny Storm in sexual relationship with demonic-looking alien bug. So this is Fantastic Four issue number 25. And
only 25? Is there only been 25?
it's they've rebooted this probably. What volume is this? Got to be like volume like
58.
Yeah, it's got to be in the 20s at least, man. But so you see some of this, and so Johnny is shacking up with I don't know what it is, but it is like a literal bug.
Why has he got a porn tash?
Yeah, he does have the stash.
Why has he got a literal like homosexual male biker's porn tash?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it got approved. It went through editorial, and he's on a roof kissing with the bug,
with a tentacle alien
of all types of like. Come on, you're. I'm not gonna leave this on the screen for too long because I know it's probably gonna make you sick. But seriously, this crosses your table. You're either a lead editor or EIC, and you see this. How do you not say, guys, turn this shit around? Like, send it back. We can't publish this.
No, I'm going to throw this comic out the window. If you could catch it by time it before it hits the ground, you can keep your job. If you don't, you're fired. And then watch as their brain works out exactly what it would entail to catch it. You fuck off.
And like I said, it's like, of course, there's aliens that are like more or less humanoid, right? And that's one thing, right? They have
little ear change, little
pigmentation
change,
like oh no, got
green skin, blah blah.
Yeah, some shit. Yeah, this is a fucking bug, bro.
Yeah, there's eat the bugs, and then there's eat the bugs out.
Oh fuck. But yeah, I thought it was fake. Apparently, it's real. And,
no, it's real. It's real.
It's like, it's interesting because yes, Fantastic Four. You would think this is all right. Well, we got to start generating some hype. We got our comics. Those are our mainstay. This is Marvel's first family. We got to start showing a little more respect. We got to start doing. Nah, they said fuck it. Put this shit out.
What? Did they realize that Sue and Johnny are brother and sister?
Probably not.
So Sue's just walking around while her fucking brother's in his fucking skinnies after he's just face fucked a bug?
Yeah, shouldn't she at least be like, hey, man, you might be down bad, but come on, bro.
Yeah, Johnny, put some fucking clothes on, you fucking degenerate scum.
Yeah, man, like, get it together. Get it together, bro.
Or put a flamethrower in her hand and just have her cleanse the room.
Get it together. So yeah, it's a bug. Like look at it. It's a legit bug.
It's a fucking multi-legged, tentacled,
and it got spikes and shit on the back. It's a fucking bug.
It's right. It's not like you said. It's not even if it's and sort of like you can see like
Gamora, bro,
with like a succubus or something. You know that like a succubus has got like horn feet or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's like a sexy lady and then horn feet, maybe a tail.
They have humanoid features.
This is so you can still kind of like understand why people would be like, well, you know. But no, this is face fucking a centipede.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's fucking weird, bro. Well, I guess if you're into that type of thing.
No. Oh God. Oh, sweet Joe. Jesus, no. Nobody is.
Hey man, some weird cats out there. Maybe that's who it was for. You're into that type of shit. And they got you covered over there at Marvel with Fantastic Four 25.
I'm sure it'll sell. Oof.
Fucking hell.
Oh, it'll sell. The Alex Ross covers will sell.
Oh, hands down, easily.
And nobody's buying it for the story.
Okay, so another thing that I want to discuss. Well, again, I'm flying through some of these because I do want to. There's one last thing that I want to make sure that we get through before. But
that's what Johnny said.
Yeah, That's what he said to the bug, man. So this news broke. Again, just has more of an update. Random House is I guess the publishing wing of it is going to be they've acquired Boom Studios there. So Boom is it's theirs. They say they announced the management team, including a new hire most recently from Hasbro as a publisher just before the acquisition was announced in June. Boom president of publishing and marketing announced that he was leaving the company. So they went under. Boom, for you guys that don't know, they did a lot of Power Rangers stuff. They also Boom did the Keanu Reeves comic as well.
They did Berserk.
So they did that as well. So apparently they are in new hands, and they will be under Random House. Random House also has, if I'm not mistaken, the distribution wing, which pretty much a lot of the big major players are going through now as well. So yeah, that's kind of forming. It's interesting to see that happening. We also have, though, some other news reported by Dick Dixon, who is not a fan of me over at the Bleeding Asshole. IDW is making a change. So it was reported.
I've heard about this.
So it was reported, by the way, that for the first time in a while, expenses are down in this last quarter. Because like we were doing it, talking about on Ripping the Silverback, they were losing money like it was going out of style. Down, those were down. They're making a little more money than what they had been in the previous quarters. I don't know if they've completely broken even, but they're at least doing better. So they're apparently about to make some critical adjustments. And apparently,
firing Heather Antos.
I think she's still there. I think they have got rid of some other people, but Heather's still there.
They're firing Heather Antos.
That has not been reported yet, to my knowledge.
They're firing Heather Antos.
Fortunately, that is not part of the bullet points.
They're gonna fire Heather Antos.
But they are. So this is the shift. Again, interesting nonetheless. Talking about this with shareholders earlier this week, CEO and publisher David Jonas in the investment call. And this is what their new approach is. This is what it's going to include. And I'm going to be clear here. I'm going to be objective as I possibly can. As a guy that has talked about it at IDW and some of the financial issues that they have had, this first point is interesting. And I will also agree that if they are going to somehow make an adjustment, this is not a bad idea. And that is this new line of superheroes in a superhero universe. So for you guys that don't know, IDW has almost exclusively made money off other people's property through licensing. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, which they don't have anymore. There's a bunch of them that they've lost. I think they recently even lost My Little Pony, if I'm not mistaken, with T. Franklin. Shout out. But I believe they even wallets
and balls.
That's what she said.
Draining wallets and balls.
That's what she said. But so that's the risk kind of that you run there, right? You get some licensing agreement, you can make a little money off of it. Obviously, the company kind of makes money. That's the attraction, right? If you license your stuff out, it's like you get the kind of kickback. They come up with the ideas, you just make money off of that. And it was very beneficial. Sonic, obviously, one as well that they made a lot of money off of. But it's a very risky thing because what happens when those agreements run up and Transformers goes to Skybound? Right, you're left with a major gap there.
How's that doing? How's that doing for Skybound?
Yeah,
that Transformers comic, apart from being one of the biggest selling comics right now,
pretty good.
I guess it's all right.
I'd say so. That's the risk that you run. So I will say again, just being purely objective here. Now, obviously, you got to have the right team to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I do think that having a brand like IDW is at least recognizable. Sure, maybe there's some I guess some traction to be gained here with starting like focusing on your own properties, right? Coming up with your own properties and seeing if you can hit big with those. However, you got to have the right team to be able to do that. And do we entrust?
100% agree.
You got to entrust. Are you going to bring some guys that are some heavy hitters? Maybe so. And then, yeah, I think that could work. But this part was interesting, especially considering the type of stories that they've told. Retelling biblical characters and stories set in a modern era, in modern storyline, but kind of borrowing from the stories says Davide Jonas believes that they can reach a whole new audience and bring the talented of the comic industry and mesh it with the religious community, which would be again interesting enough. How that's pulled off, I don't know, but that is an interesting, like, kind of like veering away from My Little Pony to
just as a quick favor.
Yeah,
could you just share what I've got down below, just quickly? What does that say on her T-shirt?
Hail Satan.
What does it say underneath that? And then what's under that?
See the upside down crucifix there. I see it.
Which is and where does she work?
Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But to all accounts, she has not been part of the layoffs.
So she works at IDW.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a prominent role.
Oh, okay.
But they're going to focus on biblical things. So maybe that means Heather Antos is going to be getting, I don't know, some sort of exorcism in order to stick around. I don't know how that's going to pull that off. But I'm just reading what's being reported here. There. So that's a great point that you bring up with Heather Antos, and kind of what she's rocking. And she's kind of she has a very prominent role in editor over there at IDW. And now you're going to be doing some, I don't know if you entrust Heather Antos, Hail Satan, to be in charge at least of the.
I wouldn't trust her to spell April O'Neil.
Arpel, shout out.
Shout out, John.
We didn't forget about you. I know it was an hour and 15 minutes into the show, but we did not forget about you, Tim Sheridan and Elton John. Big shout out,
Tim. Come on the
show. Hit us up.
Sell some trucker gay porn. Come on.
And we'll take care of the stigma of AIDS for sure. So hit us up. But also they want to focus on crime, serial killers, and mafia families. So this is a shift. This is a kind of a big contrast from, if I'm just looking at it objectively. Now you got this Heather Antos thing that you got to worry about. I get it. But if Heather Antos is far removed from this and you're just looking at these 3 bullet points, I think that this could be for IDW, if they were for sure going to follow through with it, a decent approach if you have the right team to facilitate it. From some of the decisions that you made, you got to understand IDW's in a different spot here. They aren't printing out money, right? If I think that this company probably goes under if they didn't have what was it, The Last Ronin?
With Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That made them so much fucking money, man. And Lock and Key. I think both of those made them a lot of bread. But so they had to make an adjustment, right? If you guys had been looking at those quarterly reports, they were bleeding money. So just looking at it objectively, say what you will about IDW. If I'm just looking at these 3 points, and if they are for sure going to start investing in these, if they get the right team and pull it off, maybe you see a different IDW. But they haven't been going in the direction that I think is favorable. But I do think this is them admitting that, guys, we got to do fucking something.
If they got interesting ideas, I mean, biblical stories or religious stories can be told in very interesting ways. We've seen that with
we've seen it,
stuff like that.
Yeah, we've seen it many of times.
But it can't be preachy.
Can't beat you over the head.
Yeah,
not in terms of what they're doing. No,
because you've also got to take into consideration that you can use religious iconography without necessarily having a religious customer. So it's got to be a balance there. Serial killer, crime, mafia, thematically fine. Good story. Good stories can be made from those. Do they need to pivot? Yeah, they did need to pivot because they were going under. We kept saying if we found out IDW dropped now,
we would be no surprise.
Zero surprise. Yeah. Zero surprise because they've been hanging on by a thread. And it was Lock and Key, and it was The Last Ronin, which has essentially kept them going. Losing the Transformers franchise, losing all the Marvel deals that they had. You know, those are money, huge blows. Even with Lock and Key, the Netflix is gone. You know, they didn't make bank off that. They probably really hurt their company, thrusting everything into the live action production of that. And that's what got them into a lot of the mess that they're in today. And then, of course, probably the stupidest decision in the history of comics, hiring Heather Antos, who was just the most useless piece of fucking shit in comics and probably will forever be that. So I would have got rid of her in this ring of outlays. Fuck yeah, get her out the door. Perfect opportunity to get her out the door. But I mean, good luck to the company. Apart from Heather, she can go fuck herself. But good luck to the company in terms of trying to turn things around. If they're doing it from a legitimate perspective, if they're doing it with all good intentions, it can be done, because they were doing nothing with the Transformers franchise, and Skybound have just sent that to the moon.
Oh yeah,
by resetting it with keeping close to the theme of what happened when the Transformers arrived on Earth, and then really kind of going for it. And it's just working. It is really working, because that comic is, it's the only main, apart from picking up bits of Mark Millar stuff when it comes out, but that's the only ongoing comic that I'm purchasing right now.
No, it makes sense.
Ultimate Spider-Man, that's gone. Bye.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. So we'll keep an eye on that. Last topic that I did want to discuss is also coming from that Park place. Game Developers Conference advisor and video game consultant and developer Marina Diaz says, "Fuck white men and gatekeepers." Marina Diaz, imagine doing that in gaming, right? Marina Diaz, an advisor for the Game Developers Conference, the owner of Three of Cups games, says, she's the head of strategy. That's an interesting strategy there.
So the strategy is to put your company out of business?
Yeah, apparently.
Because you're a dumb fuck. You are literally a dumb fuck. Let's think of an industry that has more prevalent than having white males in it than the fucking gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And then you just want to go, fuck them, they're gatekeeper. How about shut your fucking cow mouth? Yeah? Shut up. Get the fuck out of the industry that you clearly hate with people that you clearly hate. Go back to doing what you should be doing, heating up kitty litter in the fucking microwave and using it as a dietary supplement to go alongside your antidepressants. But get the fuck out. Just shut up. Do you know? Just shut up. For all this fucking shit, men this, men that, men that. Do you know who needs to shut up? People like fucking her. And there's so many people that need to start fucking using that and start using fucking this and this. But they're fucking running the dick licker like this stupid cow. And they're sending the Western gaming industry into the fucking spiral that it's in. And it can fucking burn. It can fucking burn. Ubisoft, burn. Fucking EA, burn. Looks like BioWare are gonna be fucking gone, because apparently this Dragon Age that's coming out is a fucking disaster. Sony, see ya, fuck off with your stupid Concord shite. Dustborn, congratulations. You mocked yourself better than we could ever do. You did it. Congratulations. We couldn't take the piss out of being woke more than fucking you just did with your game. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows to feature a black protagonist in Japan. I mean, hello, that's fucking called it Shadows.
Mental, man.
That's more fucking disaster for Ubisoft around the corner. Don't care. Fucking see ya. And then you get fucking idiots like this. You're off to Tokyo. You're off to fucking Tokyo. Fucking hell. I hope they kick you out. I hope they kick you the fuck out as soon as you open that.
Went from thinking I'm a shitty designer to consult and train teams at one of the biggest games companies in the world.
Oh, so you thought that was the perfect time to open your dumb fuck mouth and just knock yourself right back down to square one again if they had any sense.
Fucking foolish, bro. Why? It's like, okay, you thought that you were shit and then you had a I don't know, a little becoming here.
Then I got diversity hired. Then I got ESG, DIE hired by one of the biggest companies that look to check a tick box. And now look at me. Fuck you, white men. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Not all white men. Well, she did follow up. She
we're the problem. Men, we're the problem.
She followed up, though, to be fair. Not all white men
follow
suck.
Through. Yeah.
Not all white men suck, but you know what I mean.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I don't know. All you said here, said fuck white men. That's all I said.
Yeah. I believe you.
I don't know.
When you say that, I believe you.
Yeah. I don't know how else to take that, bro. I don't know what else you mean other than that.
Yeah. What if a gatekeep kept you from? You know, I mean, I couldn't gatekeep you from being a fucking spasmo on Twitter, could I? I couldn't gatekeep that. Oh, stick some more fucking flags in your bio.
But yeah, if you look at she really doesn't like men. There's a white men particularly. Shares says growing my abs to crush nuts and obnoxious white men with them.
Oh God, the only thing she's crushing is antidepressants into a fucking wine. That's the only thing that you're crushing.
So it's 3 of Cups games like a communist. Like, hold on, I gotta look this up.
I have no idea. I've never heard of them. 3 of Cups.
I'm looking them up now.
Game company games. Here we go. 3 of Cup games is an fuck my ass.
It has. We got a Sweet Baby Egg situation. So they're based out of the UK. Hey man, this one's your problem now.
You point and click adventure, and I'll go down. I'll fucking get her. She's not in the UK. She's in London.
Yeah.
So she's not in the UK.
She's not UK anymore.
Municipality state that's separate from the UK.
But it says they're an ethical, diverse, and inclusive game studio.
Oh,
and they call this to make.
I'm getting a phone call. I'm getting a phone call. Yeah. Okay, I'll tell Eric. Thank you. All right. Bye bye. That was 1998, and they said, "Can we have our HTML website back?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this website is, bro. On a serious note, I have no idea what this website is. But they want you to know, at least starting out, they just want you to know that they're ethical, diverse, and inclusive.
Racist. Gotcha.
And whatever position that chick has, which she is the
I'm gonna speculate on her knees. That's the position.
Head of strategy for BTF Games as well. And like I said, it's an interesting strategy. If that's not what you do for 3 of Cups, but it's an interesting strategy nonetheless.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. She joined a company that said they're ethical, diverse, and inclusive, which means a bunch of fucking insular bigots that detest the gaming industry and gamers. And then she said, I hate white men. To me, that's absolutely on form. Perfectly on form. 3 of Cups. 3 of Cucks in the chat. Perfect.
So, I mean, shout out to this. She has a lot of issues with, and there's a really gay picture here. Organize a spontaneous little meetup.
Bring that up. Let's have a look at that. Can we make that bigger?
I'm trying. Like, unfortunately, it's not the link isn't there. But I'll just pull it up.
Oh no! I just saw Kim Bellend. Oh, look, they've got. Oh my God, they've surrounded the cuck.
Yeah. So for marginalized game developers, whatever the fuck that means.
Why, you're all white.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
You're white.
You're all
white.
All
how
white.
you marginalized? You're women. So you're the
majority,
most dominant gender on the planet, and you're a fucking white woman. You're the most fucking privileged fucking bitches on the planet. and you're in London.
Yeah.
Fuck it, the gaslighting is off the hook. Gate kept. Gate kept.
Oh man. Well, look,
Those
I was so tired of so many cis men at meetups.
Oh, so the guy's a
This guy, that's a guy. I think that's back there. Look, I'm trying. I might be misgendering y'all. I know that's very offensive stereotype, but I think that person back there is a man.
No.
That for sure is a man with a mustache. And maybe some of these are pretending to be women. I don't know.
How many theys are there?
That one might be. This one right here, the one that's next to the mustache, I could see being one of the non-binary types. Here.
I'm actually offended because it really offends me when bigots use the cis slur. I think it's absolutely disgusting when bigoted, hateful people use that cis, which is a disgusting slur for just normal people.
Yeah,
absolutely disgusting. She seems nice.
Yeah, someone asked in the chat what games. Summer Gems is a game that they produce.
Did you see at the bottom though? Can we just read the bottom line of that statement? You know, never mind all the ethical, diverse, and inclusive change the world. We believe in emotions. We believe in making games for everyone, but she fucking hates white men. But above all, we believe in people as long as you're not white men, I guess.
Apparently. Yeah. Interesting thing to say. I don't know. It's not quite clear, and if I'm missing it, my apologies. But it's not quite clear what she's specifically referring to here, where she's talking about this. She's training teams at one of the biggest games companies. Maybe she's talking about Ubisoft or somebody that has made the mistake of hiring. Just as they have the Sweet Baby Inks and the Gamer X's and the whatever the fuck.
Have you seen a job title?
No. What does it say?
Her job title, I'm going to read this verbatim, okay? So I'm not taking the piss here. This is verbatim. Her job title is emotional game designer.
That's a fake job.
Emotional game designer.
No, that's not a real job.
I mean, she's not doing much for the stereotype.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, she has an issue with white men, and some big studio hired her to consult. So I'm pretty sure maybe we'll see her name in the credits if you want to keep up with what's her name? Marina Diaz. If you want to keep up with her and everything that Marina has going. I'm sure there's a lot of y'all in the chat that are very interested.
The games look like shit.
And Summer Gems and the other games.
Summer Gems looks like shit. And the Star, it's got a positive rating on Steam, so congratulations. Oh, wait a minute. It's got 13 reviews. 13. How many members of staff do they have? 5. So they each
that's what they. So you're saying they all?
Yeah. So there's 8
so
people.
They reviewed it. It's it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 people that worked on the game.
It
so
came out
7 of the 13.
God. It came out in 2022 in August. So it's just over 2 years old. 13 reviews. One of the best game companies. Somebody
hired her apparently as a consultant because she has the expertise as in video game development and emotional game development. And
that was her role on the Summer Games.
Yeah.
Her role on the other game, the Star Cartomancy Anthology Project, which is the one that I just looked on.
Yeah, she's the
Steam.
filmmaker and producer.
Filmmaker.
That was her role, Marina Diaz.
Yeah. She couldn't even produce a good tweet.
Well, again, whatever that big company is, congratulations. Good luck. Good luck. All right, guys, start getting into some supers. There's a bunch of them. I want to make sure we get through. We got Carlos Rue with a 2 says just finished The two towers are now Rip and the Silverback. Yes, we are here, ready to rock. We got Warren with a 5. Says, love Sisha and Ripazine issue number 2. Eric, you are making it tough to choose my favorite femme fatale. So when is her own book coming out? Well, we'll see. I'm gonna do some formal polling, like much of like what we did with the salvage, and we'll get some feedback. We'll see how everybody's feeling about it, and then we'll go from there. Once I am able to get upstairs, I will do a video talking about what's going on with salvage and what we plan to do next with that. So be on the lookout. Appreciate that, Warren, man. I'm glad you love that Ripazine, because those have obviously started shipping. So a lot of those are arriving. Most of them, I'm sure, by now have. Stephen De Leon with a 5 months says, what up, Black Stan Lee, Black Walt Disney, and ARP member and president of Life Alert Services, Ripper. That's and Hill versus Babyface, powdered milk drinking wanker. Get about. Get about. Says Anna, as he always does. Shout out West Texas. Shout out. Joker's disciple with a 10. Know y'all about Hazard fans. What non-powered no accepts Rippaverse character would survive and thrive in the longest in Resident Evil universe? Keeping in mind puzzles and all. So picks need smarts. Ooh, I would say probably. Definitely when you're talking with viruses and all that stuff, that's a tough one. I would have to say Yaira off of pure brute strength, Gooding for figuring this out. Gooding would be the type to solve the problem. So that's where I would go. Gooding would probably be the one that he's like, okay, we're going to get down to the fucking bottom of this, and we're going to try to get this thing cleared up. So of the Rippaverse characters, like if you're talking just not relying just on sheer, hey, I'm just more powerful than everybody here, for sure it would have to be Gooding. But we have some very capable people there. I mean, you got Ingrid. She has some detective work because she rely on some of what she knows to also figure it out, right? It's interesting. So that's a good question. Someone said Horseman. Well, you know, Horseman will go in guns a-blazing. And, you know, so it's hard to, you know, sometimes that's not the move, right? So that's a good question. I would say Gooding. I'm playing on the safe side, Gooding. Yaira, if we're talking about just sheer will, strength, and determination. Good question, though. Nonetheless, jokes aside, but I appreciate that 10. All right. We have, where am I at? CJ with an 8. Sad to see failed YouTubers attacking FNT, Theory, GNG. Why can't these people work on improving their own product? Well, I mean, it's more of a lash out. It's something that you just kind of come to expect when you're actually seeing success in what you're doing. They start just kind of lashing out, going after the head honchos, the guys that are actually being successful doing their own thing. So
I'll give the true answer. They count other people's money.
Yeah, that's always
They count other people's money. They've lost their relevance. They've lost their audiences. They've lost the ability to communicate because they're no longer actually catered towards their true audience. They cater towards the corporations that's going to give them the pats on the head. Therefore, the people that went there for the legitimate reasons move to other channels. And so they look at the other channels' successes and then they start counting their money and think it's for them. And that's why they try and get them demonetized, because they think if they're demonetized and those channels go away, then they'll all come running back to those channels and repaster them full of the coin. It's just a typical case of fucking counting other people's money that are doing way better than they ever fucking will.
Putting that perfectly. DB with a 2 says
it's all over the fucking Rippaverse. It's all over the fucking Rippaverse. I don't know how many fucking you should have a bloody multitude of accountants, the amount of people that are counting your fucking money.
That's true. It's a good point. That's true. To DB's point, Well, with sarcasm, Eric, why do you keep failing? Keep it up, dude. You got it on me. Keep moving, baby. Dark Hierophant with a 5 says, I want a scene in Agatha where the witches are at a table and Matt Walsh walks in disguised to encourage the self-degradation of the witches. Damn. Larry Parker with a 5. I miss good storytelling in cinema and TV. That's 41 months. Been a minute. I want a Ghost Rider, not Agatha. Well, I forgot about Ghost Rider appearing. Well, that version of Ghost Rider appearing in the what was the Arrowverse that he was in?
Yeah. Legends of Tomorrow, was it, or something?
Yeah,
maybe
he appeared. Yeah, with his little muscle car.
Nobody was watching the show by then.
Goblin Cox would have become a member
What?
for 25 months. That's his name, Goblin Cox. I'm just telling you what the name is.
I was just looking at the floor.
As looking great. Put a hat on for the Soskas, bro. Larry Parker with a 5. We have made it to the point that even the target audience is tired of being hit over the head with activism entertainment. Well, that's what I was saying before. It's like there was a point in time where definitely early on, like you go in your mid 2010s, right? Right as the Trump phenomenon is happening, there were a lot of people that thought what we would talk about, we were just fucking crazy. Right. And a lot of them gave a lot of they were a lot more forgiving than some of us were early on. A lot of those people have come around, right? And then they can't bear it anymore. Josh Kelsey with a 20. Appreciate that. Says nothing as he always does. Just drops 20 and bounces. I respect that.
Hey, he had something to say the other day.
Oh, he did. Drops just a
when
20
Josh, when he wants to say something, he'll say it.
Say it. Well, just right now, I respect that. Red Dead Sights with a 10 says, hell, the Ripper back says, you guys are always killing it. Love it. It's always dope when ass goes to God tier. Eric, you keep doing you and keep running this bitch. Says, bless y'all for making the difference. Red Sights, a Red Dead Sights 56. Appreciate that 10. That ain't cheap. I thank you so much for that, man. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate the kind words. Giant, the world ender with a 2 says, that reporter sounds like he choked down the thing. Yikes.
Just the floor.
Emily Kruger with a 2 says, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, Emily.
Rev Webb says, for fuck's sakes, as always, hashtag cancel. Plus. We got Pizza Boo with a 5,000 something. He says, greetings from Korea. I pre-ordered The Horseman, shout out, graphic novel and both t-shirts. Everything looks amazing. Keep it up. Glad you enjoy it. Thank you so much for that. You're gonna enjoy it. I promise you. 16 months from Archangel says someone tried to quick scope Trump again and failed. Yes, that has been a talk of the town. And there was some like weird bomb thing that happened today as well.
Yeah, a bomb was discovered in a car in a place that he was going to.
Man, it's they really don't like that guy. Larry Parker with a 2 says, question is, do the creators even like this stuff? I think, yeah, I mean, they're into it, but there's no like actual audience for it. This is why they always kind of deploy this tactic of using brands that exist to at least have like that attachment to it where people will at least sometimes, most times not, but at least give it the time of day, right? Because if this is Mags Versaggio's whatever, nobody's talking about it. Nobody, nobody cares. But when it's attached to DC, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever, they know that it gets more eyes on it. So yeah, I believe that they're genuine in the fact that they actually like it. I just don't think that there's an audience of people that share the same opinion there. So oftentimes they're doing it for themselves, and I think that's what that's been the tricky thing, right? That a lot of creators have to always try to navigate around and figure out. It's that, sure, you can live out your dreams and you got passion in what you do, but there has to be a balance if you're going to be successful, especially as an independent. And that balance is not only considering what's fulfilling for you as a creator, but also what the audience wants, right? And if there is one in the first place, because ultimately that's who you do it for, right? If you just want to live out your own like kind of passion project, sure, you can put it out there for free. and you know, people can maybe nerd out about it, but don't expect to last as a business by only considering your own position and your own opinion. I don't think these people care about any of that. I think there's maybe a group of a tight knit circle of people that have the same damn opinion, and that's who they're writing for. Unfortunately, mistaken that audience is much bigger than what it actually is.
Oh no, they're playing the game. I don't think they are in any illusion whatsoever that this is made for nobody. They're playing the game. Some of them are playing the game because they know they can stick around longer. They get paid decent money because they can write relatively well. They can write a lot better if they're actually fucking, let loose. But I think a lot of them are just playing the game for fear of being pushed out the industry.
Right.
I've personally been contacted by artists who
artists for sure get going.
They hate this shit.
Writers, I probably should have made that distinction. A lot of artists are not into this shit for sure. But I mean, it's definitely in that industry. If you're talking about comics, especially, I mean, it's just, hey, get the whatever they tell you to draw, you just draw it.
Yeah,
kind of situation that they're in. Legalize adulthood with a 26 cleanse your palate with something good. Micronauts Omnibus 2 came out today. Bill Monlow stories with Pat Broderick, Gil Kane.
Yeah.
Oh man, plus Ditko art says something to chew on while you wait for Horseman #1. Hales ripping the Silverback. Legalize adulthood with a 20.
Well, I just got a text, an email when the show was on. My Rippaverse have just shipped.
Woo! Let's go. It's going out quick, man. Shout out to Brandon and the team. Got those guys working, getting those out. That collection ended Sunday. I kind of stumbled upon that day. It was like, oh shit, I have 2 collections to close out. So yeah. Zion with a 5 says, y'all cooking and teaching fans, customers money, profits 101. Get the majority of happy fans money. Yeah, it's not. I think a lot of people make it definitely in corporate entities. They make it, or mega corporate entities, they make it a lot more complicated than it actually is. Zion, thank you so much for that. We got a 2 from Dark Hoffman. Again, it says, is he making out with a shmoo? It's something. Hard to look at. Even it says Brian with a 2, what's up? So even Captain Kirk would draw the lines at tentacles.
Oh.
It's tough to look at. The traditionalists love to see here. Says, how do you guys feel about the pricing with the PS5 being $700 and no disc drop? Yeah, I don't know what the move was with that. And I know I asked this before, but you still have no concerns. Comics will go full digital like we see in the gaming. Me personally, no. I think it's something that's unique. Yeah, gaming, some people are kind of almost regretting that it went as digital as it did, because you find out just how quick you can lose it. But I think comics are in this unique space in that it tried. And you've seen even with some of the major corporations, like with Amazon and Comixology, that has some issues, has had some substantial issues economically. So all the data points to, yeah, there are people that read digital comics. It's not enough to justify probably, like as far as getting a return. Yes, we know the whole web comics things, but trust me, I get messages from these guys all the time, man. Definitely now that Rippaverse has launched. I've got guys that do these web comics and they're like, man, I get 1 million fucking views, man, on my web comics. I'm fucking broke. So it's like, I don't worry about it, right, at all. I think there is something unique with comics in that the general audience, a baked in audience, wants it in their hands.
Tactile. Yeah. There's no value in digital. There's no value.
Yeah.
If you buy a digital item on a video game, if you buy a digital comic, there's no value to that. There's nothing. They can shut the website down the next day. They can shut the game down. You've lost everything.
Yeah.
So what do they call it? The lost cost fallacy. When you start investing in digital products, sunk cost fallacy. Then you get yourself into this mindset that you got to keep going because otherwise, No, with comics, it's a tactile thing. You want that physical comic. You want it. There's more to it than just reading. There's a whole ethos
it's
behind
a culture around it. Yeah, for sure. So I don't worry as much. Traditionalists. Kalichi with a 2 says She Venom is about as far as you can take that. Oh, you're talking about like with shacking up with weirdos. But even like you look at the other symbiotes and shit, you know what I mean? Like Scream and shit. She still looks like a fucking woman, right? Like that was a bug, bro. When we watched with that was a fucking bug. And that shit was weird. Shindu versus with a 5 says hell ripping the silverback $5 on the bug Johnny is banging is a Z Selma. I'll toss another 5 when the tentacles go down under fucking shit, man. That's rough. That's rough. Delta 999 report card with a 22 months says gotta use the Mafuba to seal Heather away. It's the only way. She's got something on those guys. Still a leg of history. What's up? Let's see you here. Says thanks for all the support and kindness for 26 months. Slowly getting better with my walking. I feel you on that. I'm going through that right now. Not quite there. You talking about he said he might need a fake leg because it's getting loose. That's a whole different animal, man. And I empathize with that though. Hope you do better and keep rocking and rolling, bro. Keep rocking and rolling. Quatrita VR with a 2 said F4 alien based on a fossil called hallucigenia. Fantastic Four alien is based on it's shacking up with a rock. Mr. Kirk 2019 with a 5 says especially when he yells reminds me of Leo McKern. If
that's a hell of a compliment, by the way.
Prisoner says he should be cast as number 2.
I am not a number. Okay. I'm a free man.
Yeah, comics artist JW with the 5 says, will you ever publish other indie creators, not just a printed service? That's what Rippaverse is. Rippaverse offers each service individually, but that's what Rippaverse does. For like what we're doing with so for what we're doing with Jay, Enigmatic Chronicles Green and Blue, as well as Yellow Flashes, The Mighty Golden Patriot, we are publishing those. Those are fully published. As a creator, they own those IPs, but we are the ones publishing those. So yeah, we're already ahead of you on that, man. You got someone want to show us?
Yeah. This is gonna shock you. Marina, the one who said "fuck white men," tweets are protected. She's gone protected. Emotional game designer.
Emotional game designer. Yeah. Head of strategy, and that's not a good strategy.
No, it's not a good strategy to say "fuck white men."
No.
It's a retarded strategy. It's literally mentally deficient.
Yeah.
Shocker. It's I am look at my shocked face.
Absolutely shocking. Well, Marina, good luck to you. And sure that big development company, whoever you're referring to, is probably, I don't know, man.
Oh, well, no, judging by their mission statement, she's very safe. Very safe at that company. She's probably got a pay rise.
Yeah, that's a good point. Miguel Studios with a 10 says Red Ice on 1 and 2. Love it. Appreciate you, homie. Can't wait to read the rest. By the way, just to let you gents know, I released an announcement video for my new film. Oh, shout out. I'm super excited for this project to be released. Check it out. Okay. You heard it here first. Good luck on that, man. Love to see people giving it a shot independently, man. That's what it's about. And with that being said, that was the last one. As this upcoming week, what do you got? Your gaming? What's going on with you?
So tomorrow, at some point, I'm going to be releasing my Agatha All Along episode 1 review. Then at 7 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Central, I'll be on Janet from Another Planet's podcast for an hour and a half. Then at 9 p.m., I'll be on Drinkers Open Bar. So tomorrow is going to be a busy day. And Friday, I'm probably looking to stream Wukong as much as I can.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, y'all follow as next week we will be there on his channel for the next episode of Ribbon and Silverback. So we'll see you there. Really excited to be back, kind of rocking and rolling. As far as me, I don't have much else to say other than just go grab the Horseman. We're closing in on 9,000 total books sold. That link is in the description. If you want to check that out, if you're watching this after the fact, you're going to learn a lot more about Hector. This was, of course, this art is done by the legend that is Joe Bennett, as well as written by the legendary Chuck Dixon. So you're going to learn a lot about the character. And, of course, you can go check out the animated trailer. We have, of course, some kind of benchmarks there that will allow us to do some very, very, very cool things. A big meeting actually this week to talk about some stuff that we're going to be doing with memberships. But we have Dean Cain, Superman growing up. Dean Cain, who will be voicing Horseman. So be on the lookout for that, man. I'm really, really, really excited, man, about this whole project, and we're just so stoked over here that this thing is doing is as successful as it is. So we will see you guys there. So appreciate that. That said, we have to bounce up out of here. Next week we will be on Az's channel. Like I said, keep that in mind. On Full Ribbon and Silverback. This upcoming week, as far as me streaming, I might pop in like a random hour as I usually do. But for the most part, I'm going to be working. Me being out those couple of weeks, I am still fucking not caught up on everything. So I'm taking it a day at a time. So appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, y'all be easy. We'll see you next week on Az's channel for Ribbon and Silverback. Peace out.
Goodbye, Blue Boo.